Dude, last week your hair.
My hair is a little messed up last week.
I got a lot of people were like, dude, what's up with Matt's hair?
There's a lot messed up about me on the last week's show. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Shits and Giggles show. I've got new headphones, Brian.
Yeah, I see that.
We're matching.
He stole, just like he stole my tweet, he stole my headphones.
Well, you know what? See, I take your tweets, but I'm a little more witty, so I add a little something to it.
You didn't add anything to that tweet.
That's true. I copied and pasted. Last week was quite a show, Bri.
That was a long show.
Hour and a half. That's a lot of hours. A big difference. Unfortunately, Keith's at Aftershock this week, and we got started, and I pretty much forgot to call Nigel. So, but look forward to seeing more of those two guys. You know, your mom gets mad at me burping, and like as soon as the camera turned on, I just start burping.
You have to burp.
But this was going to be the sober show because, I tend to run a little bit at the mouth
When you're drinking.
when I'm drinking. It was funny as I was watching the show last week. My eyes just kept getting smaller and smaller. By the end of the show, I looked like Gilbert Gottfried. It's kind of weird.
Oh,
A lot of reaction from last week's show.
yes.
Tons of reaction. All kinds of stuff. Okay, so I can't promise that I'll never chew on the show again. But what I can promise...
That actually should be a simple promise.
I can't because I'm hopelessly addicted to nicotine. I love it. It's just good until my jaw falls off, and then where will the show
So
be?
you have a big ass hole right in your
We'll
lip.
probably have more viewers. Like, look at this freak doing a
That's the song we should have used today.
the freaks.
Yeah, here comes the freaks.
Here comes the freaks. I was gonna do that one with Keith,
Okay.
but I was like, nah. So women don't like me burping and spitting, and apparently we have more women watching this show than we realized.
Right.
It is gross. I'm aware that it's a filthy habit, but what are you going to do? It's that or smoke, and I like my lungs. The other reactions we had was to, can you hit that green dot at the top?
Oh, yeah.
And see that gray thing at the top right? Click that, and that goes away.
This?
Yep. Boop. There we go.
Did you make that boop noise, or did the computer do that?
I did.
We got our own soundboard, Matt.
We are anything but professional, I think,
Right.
during this thing. So we had a reaction to some of the subject matter, which I thought was funny because of where it comes from. And actually, I had a long conversation with a dude at work yesterday because we touched on race and stuff on the last week, and we have a couple of black viewers, and I was like, how did you feel about that? And it was funny, like when we were talking about cutting off the ignition and then restarting it, and
Right.
the thing blowing up. And his reaction was, man, I thought that was messed up at first. And then I realized you guys are doing it with white people too. And I was like, yeah, when I told the story, I said, yeah, there was a couple of black guys on the street. Well, I didn't do it because they were black guys. I did it because
There were people walking down
there
the
are people
street.
walking down the street, and I wanted to scare them. And he said, yeah, after a while, he got that. So I was like, it was funny how people see things. And
Yeah, it's just, as soon as you mention race, and then people start thinking, what was that? Was that racist?
was it about race? And
No,
so,
it wasn't. It was just saying, giving you a little bit of the picture of the story of what was going on since
Right.
you weren't there.
You know what? Now that I realize how my tone is going to be for this week, give me a little more gain.
All right.
Just a tiny little bit more gain. Sorry, folks, we're still working out. Oh, that was like magic. You got magic fingers.
That's right.
You should see what he does when the cameras are off. But no, and then we talked on, and I've talked about this before. I'm a student of history, and I have a bad habit of assuming that everybody understands where I'm coming from on stuff. And I'm a big history fan. So when we had more than one, our older viewers didn't like when I mentioned the Jew hair in the Volkswagen seats. And here's the weird thing. There were car companies putting Jew hair in car seats. Part of the fourth. If anybody knows the history of the Volkswagen, that was an invention purely invented by Adolf Hitler. Volkswagen is the people's car, and it was made for the Autobahn, and that was all designed by Adolf Hitler. Well, I'm aware of that history, and like a dummy. I don't really explain the whole history. Let me make this clear, and I'm only going to say this once. The Holocaust was not funny. It was absolutely real. I can't stand Holocaust deniers.
No, I can't either.
That's the same to me as 9/11.
Yeah, 9/11 truth.
9/11 people.
I mean, I'll let people go. The moon landing didn't happen, even though that makes them sound stupid. But shit like that, Holocaust, 9/11.
Right.
It's like saying Pearl Harbor didn't happen.
Yeah. It's like, okay. For years, comedy has made light of dark themes to lighten the burden of the seriousness of life. Soldiers, cops, firemen have always been known to cope with stress with gallows humor. PC has taken this away from us, and we're all hurting because of it. Brian?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I apologize.
Is it any wonder that as political correctness ruins comedy, we've seen an increase in suicides among firefighters, the people that do our toughest jobs, firefighters, cops, and soldiers? Laughing above exercise is one of the best tools to relieve stress. It has also been used for years as a way to broach social woes that are too touchy to take on directly. And we're going to have some direct examples of that. And we're going to go into, this show's going to be funny because it's about comedy, but it's also about race relations. If you watch shows like All in the Family, you can see where comedy through Archie Bunker's character shows a light on the generational divide on subjects as serious as race, war, women's rights, as while making us all laugh. It is my fear that those days are quickly coming to an end with a very detrimental effect on our world. Like I said, you're seeing an increased rate of suicides, cops, firemen, soldiers. It's my opinion that oversensitivity is driving the division in this country and could leave us without a sentence to read because Brian went too fast on the teleprompter. This country could leave us to a far darker place than some bruised feelings. And that's one thing. We're the only animal in the world that caters to the weakest among us. Do you think lions would still exist if the entire pride decided to coddle its weakest and sickest?
No.
No.
I mean, you can even look at the most basic animal on this planet, fish. To me, they as soon as they see a weakness, they kill it.
Yeah.
That's not what we're calling for here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Also, they are Nazis.
No, just
right.
What you were just talking about. If you look at the era of Archie Bunker, those TV shows, and those were showing a generation divide, and then it moved to a generation that started accepting that, where we can joke about this, and
right.
I mean, we've gotten to our generation where it's like we're joking about it, but it's not a big deal. Now you go to the next generations, right. And they're like,
"How could you say
the end of the fucking world that you just said that?"
I think we're dealing with the repercussions of stopping. Next to the golden rule, which is teach others as you wish to be treated, the next most important rule we were taught as kids is sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
Yeah, words.
And I always thought that was stupid. Oh, yeah, words will never hurt me. Names? I guess a name wouldn't hurt me either.
Yeah, no, right.
My grandfather wanted to name me Monty.
That would have hurt you.
Monty?
Yeah.
That would have been badass.
My name is Monty.
My name is Monty Bernal.
And I got a python.
Yeah, see? Everybody would have known me as Monty, the man with the python.
With the python.
Instead, I'm just Matt, someone that just wipes their feet on everywhere they go.
Wipes their... Okay, I get it.
Doormat.
Took me a minute.
Yeah, so it's weird. I was talking to a guy yesterday about a thing called the bell curve. If you don't know what a bell curve is, it can be applied to pretty much anything. But if you imagine the picture of a bell where it's small on one side and then gets bigger here, any normal factor like IQ is found in the broadest part of the bell, and the smarter people are over here and the dumber people are over here. And we could base that on anything. You could talk about transgendered compared to normal population. Transgendered are in the very small part of the bell curve, and then there's what's called normal, but now you have this newspeak where they're trying to break us all up in the smallest divisions as possible, and that's not good. You see, like me and Brian would be considered cisgender males to
I don't even know what that means.
to millennials. It means you're normal.
Yeah,
You're a dude, born like a dude, and you like
if you
chicks.
call me cis, I'm thinking you're calling me a sissy, and you might get punched.
Right. It's newspeak. And it's funny because you see liberals throw out terms, I talked about this before, Orwellian all the time. Well, it's just Donald Trump is Orwellian. No, coming up with a whole new language that all of a sudden I have to bow down to is newspeak. That is very much an Orwellian concept.
Here's a crazy one.
Huh.
Yesterday, I saw that Arnold Schwarzenegger apologized for his girly man saying that he used to always say. So now he's apologized. I find that was, I see now that was insensitive. No.
You know what's weird? Because I don't believe that he gives a shit whatsoever.
No.
Who is he trying to appeal to?
I don't know. But
because nobody, if this is what he's running on to get people to go to a new movie or whatever, me and you, who are traditionally liked Predator,
right,
and all of his cool like guy movies, aren't going because you're being a pussy. Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're being a pussy. You're outside the bell curve. You're no longer appealing to the normal. I guess if you want to appeal to the
touch the nerve on this one.
Well, dude, I'm just tired of feminine dudes. Like it's fine. Let's say you are a feminine dude, and they're called the English or the French, as we will see. Archie Bunker taught me that.
Well, my question though on this is now Saturday Night Live. I'm expecting tonight Saturday Night Live should apologize for the girly man skits because that's where it all came from.
That's so stupid. Why would you ever apologize?
I don't know
for comedy.
It's It's comedy.
And look, anything. I challenge you to find something that's not funny. Brian, think of something that's super not funny. Just any subject right now.
A funeral.
More specific, something that'll hurt people's feelings if we bring that up in a comedic way.
If you bring it up in a comedic way,
yes.
Anything that has to do with anything right now.
Anything that has to do with specifics.
If you bring up Brett Kavanaugh's name, you can't make it funny because it pisses people off.
All right,
you're putting me on the spot here.
Right.
I don't know what.
It's simple. Is 9/11 funny?
No.
But you know what? If I say, what is funnier than Chelsea Handler? 9/11. That's funny. That's not making fun of 9/11.
I don't see that funny, but okay.
Well, dude, now I'm on the spot trying to make jokes. But what I'm saying is anything can be brought. What's funnier than Chelsea Handler? Cancer.
Okay.
Or if I say, dude, I hate that person so much, I hope they slip and fall in a bucket of AIDS. AIDS is not funny.
No, right. That makes sense.
That's a Jim Norton joke, by the way. I'm not here to steal people's jokes. But that's funny. AIDS is not funny. Somebody wasting away. Right. Just a name, the old names for AIDS were funny. Oh, it's the gay cancer. There's nothing funny about cancer. There's nothing funny about AIDS, but anything can be used in a comedic deal. And I don't think that particularly the folks that brought that up are offended. What I'm starting to see is that we are starting to become sensitive to the sensitive people's sensitivities.
No, and I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I can't blame them. I believe it or not, I do try to filter some here. I filter a lot.
The problem
actually.
is you have to be nowadays very careful for what you're doing because even you're not Jim Norton, you're not Benjamin Owens. You're not any.
So only famous people can use the First Amendment
because they can afford to do it. Is what I'm saying.
That's true.
And so
there's risk.
Risk your job, my job,
right.
And that's the whole thing.
And that's just
but
wrong.
So yeah, no, I know, and it's silencing.
Wrong.
Right, it is.
And that's
to be
the
like,
biggest problem.
That guy. I'm sorry.
No. If you saw the first couple of shows that we made here at Shits and Giggles, or I made, I think they're all about freedom of speech. It's something that I find serious, but maybe I could explain myself a little bit well. When I'm talking about Jew hair, I'm making fun of Volkswagen. because Volkswagen was. There's a lot of
You're
stuff
making
people
fun
don't.
of-
You
you're-
know
you're
the blue
making
and
fun
white.
of the-
You know
you're
the
making fun of Nazis.
Nazis.
Right.
You know the blue and white symbol in front of. And this is funny. People are selective with their sensitivity. The blue and white symbol on the front of a BMW. You know what that is?
No.
All right. BMW stands for Bavarian Motor Works.
Right. Yeah,
that is the spinning propeller of a Messerschmitt.
Okay.
That's what that symbol is.
Oh, yeah,
The Volkswagens were absolutely designed by Nazis, but somehow we managed to forget that because maybe, I don't know, we just Mitsubishi. How many of those sell here? If we went with people's sensitivities that were left from World War II, well, Mitsubishi was the people that made the airplanes that dropped the bombs on Pearl Harbor. And it's like, why do we always have to apologize?
No, I know.
But Germany hasn't apologized for selling Volkswagens and BMWs here. Mitsubishi certainly hasn't apologized for Pearl Harbor.
No, Germany's just letting themselves get overrun and not protecting.
So just a little fun fact going back to that. Yes, hair from Holocaust victims was used in production in Germany. Specifically, there was a company that filled their car seats full of it, but it wasn't Volkswagen. And they also made socks for submariners out of Jewish people. Said, dude, the Nazis were fucked up people.
Yeah, they were. Fucking.
I mean, that's the understatement of the century. Obviously, people know that.
Dude, this has nothing. I've been watching Man from the
Man in the High Castle?
Man in the High Castle. New season came out, and man, it's trippy. I mean, it gives you a look into what the world would have been like if we wouldn't have beat the Nazis.
Right.
It's a weird. It's a weird TV show. It's if anybody's not watched it, watch it. It's actually very good.
I don't think the society that they're running in that show, that dystopia, that Nazi dystopia, is not really all that different from what the political correctness crowd in our country actually wants. Because when you look at that assault on the freedom of speech, my ability to dissent against the government, I mean,
yeah, no,
when they're saying words are violence,
you can draw a lot from that.
Yeah,
if you watch that show, you can see a lot of similarities.
Hey, who's calling?
You'll never guess.
Is it Charlotte?
Yeah.
All right, hold on a sec.
Oh, jeez.
You can just hold it.
Sorry, Mom, but you're right in the middle of the show. You're right in the middle of the show. You're being recorded.
It's your second time being a guest, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not burping yet, though.
Okay, well, good.
I'll call you back after the show, okay?
Do you have my keys? What I need?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, bye. Jesus, that was just like the worst thing.
That's
ever.
twice.
Yeah,
That's twice. I think Charlotte. You know what, dude? Maybe on the
thought-
upcoming weeks we make her just come in.
Yeah, I don't think she'll do it.
You don't think so?
No,
We'll have the girls do her hair and makeup. The whole
she doesn't like to be on camera.
the whole thing. Just real quick, just to reiterate, now that we got sidetracked, I am not known for my subtlety. Anybody who knows me knows that I have very little filter. But you also know I care very deeply about everybody. I'm a little bit of a softie. So what I make up for lack of subtlety, I make up from just being, I think, a fairly good person. Another point I want to make, facts don't care about your feelings, and either do jokes. Funny is funny. If you're the person in the comedy club that went to a comedy club, and this is getting off the topic of our show, but essentially the show is the attack on comedy. And you see it. Owen Benjamin has been ostracized.
Huge pianist.
Yeah, the hugepianist.com. If you find, Owen Benjamin's a funny dude. Jim Norton, Colin Quinn, all these people are having a hard time just getting shows inside of clubs because what's popular now in the comedy club is a woman up there. Guys are horrible and take down the patriarchy, and then women go, woo!
It's not even comedy.
That's not funny. That's stupid. There was that one lady she's got a Netflix show.
Yeah, was that she's Australian or something like that? Right?
Australia. He just did a whole show about being raped.
Right.
And then Dave Landau had a good comedy's no longer stand-up comedy anymore. He called it stand-up tragedy. and it's just these feminists talking about getting raped. And they go for the applause line. Oh, yes, I agree with that. It's stupid. It's not funny.
It's like it's a monologue then.
Yeah, it is. It's the vagina monologue.
I was going to say that.
I don't know. Why would you pay for that? I mean, I can understand if you want to go to a feminism rally and hear about feminism. That's fine. There's plenty of applause lines there. But you should go to a comedy club, laugh. I've been in plenty of comedy clubs where there's a black comic and it's like the white people be like and whatever it is. If it hits home, it's funny. Especially, I love to hear white stereotypes because technically, historically, we're pretty good at dishing out the stereotypes and not taking them. But yeah, I know I can't dance.
Right.
And I think it's funny when a black guy is up there and doing a white impression of white people dancing because it's funny because it's true.
You'll never see me or you or anybody I know really will get mad because somebody says something bad about a white person. You know, it's like
you call me cracker all day,
right? In comment, right. I've been called that in real life. You know, just like so. It's like whatever.
Like yesterday, I got a buddy of mine that's a black dude, and talk about two people that neither of us are on the bell curve. He is a weirdo, and I'm a weirdo. On probably kind of different sides of the bell curve. But the one thing that me and him both have the ability to do is recognize that we like each other as human beings. And you know what? Even when we're debating, it's not like this deep, hard debate. I take time to listen to him. He takes time to listen. I'll tell him, dude, that's a weird thought, bro. You don't think that that's weird? He goes, no, it's not. And he doesn't feel offended, attacked, or anything like that. And there's just that he's not looking to be offended by my views. He's looking to understand my views. And
that's rare.
Vice versa. Dude, it's awesome. And I wish just more people would do it.
No, most people are looking to be offended, and that's what they're looking for.
And the funny thing is, me and him almost have nothing in common. Our upbringings are nowhere alike. The only thing that we really have in common is that we have a common job because he's a friend from work. And I notice every time we have these conversations, me and his actual friendship becomes a little bit tighter. Like, cool. Like, now you're like, man, I got to hang out with this dude because the debate is fun, or just hearing his views is fun. And the fact that nobody could do it, I don't think it's our side, the right's side, being closed-minded. Yeah, we do. I'll shut you down if you say some stupid shit because a lot of the stuff I hear is just stupid.
I'll let you say whatever.
But I'm not going to scream at you. And if you look at college campuses, it just happened again this week. They were shutting down. Antifa was out there trying to shut down a speech from, I think it was Ben Shapiro or someone like that. Name one time a right-wing group came out and tried to stop a person on the left from speaking.
Dude, it
doesn't happen.
It's funny because Ben Shapiro is far from right, and
he's definitely not a Trump like.
No, he's an anti-Trump.
Kinda.
He is. He's
a sometime Trumper.
Now he is.
Yeah.
No, he was a
anti-Trumper when he was running.
Oh yeah, no, he totally was.
Like I said before, anything can be funny if it's a well-written joke. I got some examples. This is gonna blow the. Next one. I was going through old TV today and just on YouTube finding stuff that I found hilarious. And it occurred to me, if you talk the 70s, there was a lot of dark stuff going on in the 70s as far as race relations go. But generally, race relations were better when people were able to be honest or make fun of stereotypes without it feeling personally attacked. And I think that's what it is. People feel personally attacked when someone makes a joke about. Well,
the problem is people feel personally attacked. But it's not the right people that feel personally attacked. It's not the person that somebody's making the joke about. So if they're joking about a black person, 90% of the time it's white people that are pissed off.
It's the white people that are offended. That's true.
You're offending me, and it's like, and then you don't hear it from.
It was funny because I said something that was absolutely true yesterday, and my buddy, I won't use his name until he tells me, the black guy was. I'm friends with. That sounds horrible. The black guy I'm friends with. Stupid. Yeah, I just confirm everything everybody ever says. The guy I was talking about at work. And we were talking about, like, race and stuff like that. And I go, dude, I just haven't had that much exposure. Grew up in the Bay Area on the peninsula. So, I mean, my exposure to black people or... Dude, this fly! Get out of here!
Jesus Christ. Fucking...
I was doing my best to try to ignore it, but, dude... and I go, you know, I haven't had that much exposure, so you can't expect me to know what you're thinking if I haven't had that much exposure. I was like, you take like paisas, like Mexican nationals or Guatemalan nationals and stuff. What interaction do I have with them? Maybe at a Mexican restaurant, maybe at the car wash, because I just don't. And he goes, dude, that's a racist thing to say. And I go, how is that racist? And I still don't know how it's racist for me to say that.
You got a little...
I don't know how it's racist to say that my exposure to Mexican or Guatemalan nationals is at a gas or not a car wash or a restaurant, because that is my level of interaction. I don't have neighbors or go to a social club that has. I'm not saying that's all a Mexican national could be. And he goes, no, you're limiting them to their job, to a stereotype. I'm like, no, that's literally where I see and have interaction with. And it was funny what he perceived as racist, I just perceived as observation. And he didn't say like, you're racist, because he said that. He was more like, you're like psychologically biased towards it. And I was like, no, not really. I don't feel like it's bias.
No,
I feel like it's honesty.
It's, once again, like when you said driving down the street, you caused a backfire in your car, and you're stating a fact that there was two black guys walking down the street,
right,
and it made them jump. So it's the same thing. It's a statement of what is going on. And that,
right. It was just a descriptor.
It's a description, yes.
Going forward, I should have just said there was two dudes walking down the street, but should I have to change the story because of other people's sensitivity?
Well, if we did that, then every book would be boring, right? Well, I don't read. You know,
we're aware.
I watch TV. I get my description. So every book would be just bland.
Right. He brought up a good point too. He goes, you know, like your perception of people is a lot of it's based on the media and stuff like that. I'm like, well, yeah, a good percentage of it is, but then we also have life experience, and you can't discount life experience, but you also can't throw one life experience and apply it in another place. But after you start seeing patterns or something like that, you'd be stupid not to apply them to your life.
That would be like me applying, because I got punched in the face by a black guy when I was in junior high school, that I hate all black people or something, and that's not the case.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. But that would be like me applying that. But that's
you can't.
Right, you can't.
Right. Now, if you were every day you walked around the same place and got punched by a black guy every time, then you'd be like, either this place is bad,
right,
or the people that live in this area are bad,
right,
or if it happens enough, you eventually be like, I'm afraid of black people,
right.
So, but it's just interesting. But let's go back to 1970s television, and you tell me that race relations weren't better, or at least people weren't so sensitive. This is Don Rickles, and
Sugar Ray is a great champion. Sugar, we'd ask you to talk, but you know the blacks, your lips lock. There's no booing. There's no booing. I kid, Dean, he's Italian, and we need the Italian people to find out where the mail goes. But it's great, and Slappy, Nipsey, you're all, you all look alike. But, I kid the black man, and you know that, baby, and you were beautiful to Telly. Telly is a great Greek, and you're a great black man, and I'm a Jew, and I say this from my heart. On behalf of the Greeks and the Jewish people, don't move into the neighborhood. See if he's laughing. Now, the black people, they get moody. I'm only kidding you know that. I kid. Gary, we've known each other many, many years, and you always said to me, be kind to Lucy. I say this for my heart. Shut up. I hate when a spade butts in. Oh,
You say spade one more time and there'll be troops in front of your door tomorrow.
they can't do nothing because I tap dance. I have based my whole humor on laughing at bigotry. I laugh at Will Chamberlain. Ha, 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 ha. But if you don't laugh back, it's not funny. I laugh at the blacks, the whites, the purples. Mostly the blacks.
Dude, can you imagine that being on television today?
Oh, I mean, even if you look at it, just watching that and just thinking about it right now, you can even see the PC was attacking them because he has to explain himself.
Yeah,
every time.
well, the one,
I'm just kidding, right?
Right. The one thing I did like was when he did step over the line a little bit and the crowd booed. He immediately attacked the crowd.
Right.
Not like, oh, I'm sorry, that was over the line. He goes, no. And that's because everybody that bought that ticket was there to laugh. And that's it. That's the whole point.
As a roast. I mean,
it's a roast, and there's no way that would be on TV today. This is hilarious. And now this is black on black humor. So now look at this and tell me it's not the same joke. Why is it okay when Red Fox says it?
I love Red Fox.
Yeah, Red Fox is awesome. This is one of the best clips ever from Sanford & Son.
Ain't it funny how even the worst of heathens try to get righteous when they think the Lord is about to tap them on the shoulder? Listen, Lester, if I wasn't so sick, I would give you one of these across your ugly lips. Who you calling ugly, sucker? I'm calling you ugly. I could stick your face in some dough and make some gorilla cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Who was it that just, Rosie O'Donnell lost her show for saying...
No, Roseanne Barr.
Or Roseanne, God, I keep doing that. I'm so sorry, Roseanne Barr.
Right.
You are by no means the world's angriest lesbian.
Yes.
You know what? You know how bad of a person Rosie O'Donnell is? None of her kids talked to her, and her ex-wife killed herself. She's a bad person. It's all Rosie O'Donnell's fault. God, the concept of Rosie O'Donnell's fart is too horrible to think of. But it's funny that Roseanne Barr lost her show because she compared Valerie Jarrett to someone on Planet of the Apes. Right? And everybody went nuts. But yet, that's 40 years ago.
Right.
And it was fine. How so? It's just comedy. And Roseanne Barr is a comedian. It was just...
that was on TV, people. That
was on just regular television.
TV. That wasn't a movie.
That's what we used to come home from school and watch.
Right.
Like, I would Leave It to Beaver would be on, and then there would be Andy Griffith Show, and then Sanford & Son. Or, and do you remember this, too? Like, Good Times was on when we were kids and stuff like that.
I love Good Times.
Did you ever really think... Because I think the perception is that we sat down and watched a show full of black people. And to be honest with you, I remember watching the show as a kid, and I don't even think I recognized it as like, oh, let's watch what the black people are doing today. It was just a funny show. Everybody loved Rerun.
Right. This is like watching Fat Albert. Does the same thing. Never thought of that as a...
No. I just thought of it as a show where Fat Albert would go around and slip a Mickey to women and then have sex with them after.
Oh, that's yeah.
You forgot that Fat Albert was Bill Cosby.
Yes.
Dude, you looked at me. I was like, man, that joke fell flat, man. I was like, dude. Now let's talk about All in the Family. This is a show that never would be on. And remember the concept of the show. They created Archie Bunker to a character, a lovable character that's stuck in older times. By the way, Archie Bunker was a Democrat in the show.
Right.
This is how
I know.
Democrats thought at the time. It turns out, I mean, everybody knows an Archie Bunker. I'm sure to my kids, your kid, to your kid, we're the Archie Bunkers of our time. But imagine this.
Straight shooting, just say what you want to say.
Say whatever you want to say. And the beauty of it, well, we'll talk about it after, but this is all in the family.
His pal Roger is as queer as a $4 bill, and he knows it.
That's not only cruel, Daddy, that's an outright lie.
You know something, Archie? Just because a guy is sensitive and he's an intellectual and he wears glasses, you make him out a queer.
I never said a guy who wears glasses is a queer. A guy who wears glasses is a four eyes. A guy who is a fag is a queer. Go ahead, Edith. Now answer the girl. Now, you've seen Roger sashaying around here with his la-di-da talk. He's a pansy.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I'm not an expert on flowers.
Look, Archie, you might as well face it. You're all alone in this. We all know Roger, and we all know he's straight. And even if he wasn't, and I said if, what difference would that make? Do you know that in many countries, England, for instance, there is a law that says whatever two consenting adults do in private is their own business?
Listen, this ain't England. We threw England out of here a long time ago. We don't want no more part of England. And for your information, England is a fag country. What? Say, ain't they still picking handkerchiefs out of their sleeve, huh? Are they still standing around leaning on them skinny umbrellas like this here? I know their whole society is based on a kind of a fagdom.
You know you're right, Archie. You're right. The British are a bunch of pansies. Pansies, fairies, and sissies. And the Japanese are a race of midgets. The Irish are boozers. The Mexicans are bandits.
And you Polacks are meatheads.
Dude, can you imagine that being, and it just would never, you could not have a television show.
So you're telling me there's no chance of a remake of Archie?
Oh, if they did, it would be so stupid. I can't even imagine. I mean, oh, did you hear? They were saying that ABC is Disney. Yeah. They haven't even had what was the Roseanne, the new show without Roseanne,
right.
And they already know it's going to be a flop.
Yeah.
It's when is Hollywood and just the entertainment industry in general going to understand that a good 60% of this country is not like activists and just likes funny stuff. There's so much.
I'd say about 80% of this country are not activists.
Shit, activists. I just meant like liberal kooks. Yeah,
crazy liberal kooks.
It's funny because
still going about 80%.
Yeah,
it's a liberal kooks are a small minority in this country.
You look what's happening to the left. They are going further and further in the left. Actually, I kind of wanted to do this week's show about it, but they're doubling down on being harassing people and being violent, and I think that's turning off a huge portion of America. And what happened is the Democratic Party is boiling down to just this like weird little scum at the bottom of the pot. And as you see, there's been like, as much as people want to hate Donald Trump, he's doing things that are attracting. Watch, after the midterm elections, he's going to try to legalize pot.
I don't know on that one.
Dude, it would be a brilliant political move. I'm not saying I'm for the legalization of pot, but then what? What is the left going to have other than violence and communism?
I saw a meme today. It's basically it was a picture of Hitler saying, the war will not end until there won't be civility till basically they surrender or something like that. And it's down at the bottom. It's got, I think it was Hillary Clinton stating the same thing. There won't be civility in this country until we win.
Yes,
that's what it's Hitler says.
Yeah, Hitler says we shall only talk of peace when we have won the war. Hillary Clinton says we will only talk of civility when we have won the House and the Senate.
Right.
Weird.
I keep calling you guys a bunch of Nazis, but
they are.
Right. You guys are the
National
fascists.
Socialists.
Right. You're the fascist socialists.
Yeah. We're not stopping people from exercising their freedom of speech.
Nope.
We're not chasing people out of restaurants.
The one thing that we're on is like we just don't want you to kill babies. Yeah,
that's only probably 60% of conservatives.
Right. But
There's
still,
pro-life or pro-choice conservatives.
Right, there is. But it's just, I mean...
It's like just this week, a dude got his truck firebombed because he had a Trump sticker. You don't see that. I don't see those stupid coexist stickers and like throw a Molotov cocktail through it.
Yeah, when was the last time we burned a Prius up?
You ever notice conservatives will 90% of the time put those sticker for their people they support on their glass. And liberals will put it on the paint. That's very telling.
That they're not smart?
It's that they don't, consequences are not a thing, and everything is on the short term with them. This is one of my favorite, and we'll stop showing you old 70s clips. This is shows that the racism, the beauty of the Archie Bunker and George Jefferson's dynamic is they're the same guy, just on different sides.
Right. Well, there's been time where they crossed over. They had a crossover.
Right.
Archie Bunker and Jefferson. And because that's where he came from. Jefferson's came from Archie Bunker.
It's a spinoff from All in the Family.
Yeah, All in the Family.
This is one of those episodes. And this one's funny because you're like, you can't, Archie Bunker's the racist. It's like, who's the racist in all this? It's funny.
I used to watch the Jefferson. This is one of my favorite shows to
Jefferson's
watch.
was awesome. All right.
Now, Peter, you don't have to be nervous with a colored crowd. Just keep your eye on me. Hey. Hi.
It's down the hall.
No, I ain't looking for that. No. Do I look like an elk?
Oh, look. Hello, Mr. Jefferson.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Bunker. Hey, Jefferson there. How are you? Listen, that formal invitation you sent by your wife, I think that was very white of you.
That's exactly the way I felt when I did it.
And what about you, sir?
Scotch and soda, please.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jefferson, there's a switch for you. This guy giving you the big yes, sir.
Why? He's a bartender, ain't he?
Yeah, but what I meant was I'm used to having it the other way around.
Oh, yeah? How many servants you got in that mansion you living in?
What do you mean by that?
Let me tell you something about people.
There you are.
Thank you. That bartender's willing to work for me because if you got enough green in your pocket, then black becomes his favorite color. Look, Mama, I'm a big boy. Now, I don't need you to blow my nose for me. Now, will you leave me alone?
God. Hey there, Jefferson. That ain't very nice, talking that way to your little mammy here.
Who you calling Mammy?
You.
Well, don't you dare call me Mammy. I'm nobody's Mammy. I'm his mother. Now, if you got anything to say to me, you call me Mrs. Jefferson.
Oh, she's Mrs. Jefferson.
Don't talk to me.
George, what's going on? He called Mama Mammy.
I didn't think I was doing nothing wrong. I thought all colored people called their mothers Mammy. Well, I did, Jefferson. That's what I always heard. Geez, Al Jolson called his mother Mammy for years.
You see that, Louise? You see? That's what you get for inviting white.
So what are you doing here, a white guy?
I'm a guest. What are you doing here, a white guy?
I'm the family's white friend.
So do you, baby. So do you.
You see that little girl over there? That's the little girl that Lionel's going to marry.
Yeah, I know. And you know who that lady is hugging her?
No?
She's my wife.
Oh,
Could you come over here a second? I got some people I want you to meet.
Hey, Jefferson, you're going to love this.
Okay, Mom, Pop, this is Jenny's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Willis.
I'm very pleased to meet you. How do you do?
Mrs. Jefferson? Mr. Jefferson? You're white. And you're black.
She's kicking her head, ain't it?
George, I thought you said you liked Jenny. That's before I met him. Wait, now you don't even know him. I don't want to know him. I don't want no white in-laws in my family. They're gonna be my in-laws, not yours. Think, son, think. What about your children? What they gonna be? Well, boys and girls, I hope.
Can't you tell when you've been insulted?
Now just don't get excited.
I am not getting excited. I am getting mad.
Listen to him, Louise. That's what happens when you mix black and white. 10 more seconds, he's gonna call her a nigger.
Listen to that. I ain't used that word in 3 years.
Dude, it's shocking, huh? When you haven't
on TV.
when you haven't seen it in a while, and it's like you can't tell me that race relations weren't better then, because people just watched it. It was a comedy show, and it did have some social implications to it.
Right.
But it's funny where we're at. The funny thing is like him being shocked over a white and black marriage, because I mean that tells you where we are.
Right.
We are in a different time, because I don't even blink now when I say things.
You look at Lionel, the way he was thinking. That's kind of the way we've always really thought.
Yeah, it's like
and you just don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And but now we've pushed it to the. Now we're dividing up again. That's
which
the crazy
for no
part.
real reason other than sensitivity.
Right, now we got to divide everybody
Well,
up by
the point
race, color,
is
and sexual orientation.
The point is the division, and that's what's nice when you see. But it's not working. When you see that 60% of the Hispanics or whatever now are, or was it 40% of Hispanics and 40% of blacks are looking to support Donald Trump. You're like, oh, the division's not working. And it's funny when you see what's funny about Archie Bunker. It wasn't that there's an outright hatred. There's a general ignorance of, like, he thought in that skit that it was okay that black people call their moms mammy.
I didn't know that was a thing. Mammy.
You don't remember our cartoons when we were a kid with
mammy?
Mammy.
No.
Hello, my mammy.
Hello, my.
Yeah, that's all.
I don't know. I've never heard
but
that.
I don't think the division is working as well as they think. This all comes out of, again, academia. And I just think, I mean, if you work anywhere, you're going to work around people that are a different race, unless you're maybe almost from like Montana, Wyoming, where there's very low populations. But if you live in any of the,
you're gonna work
the
around
South or the
Hispanics and stuff
East
like
and the West, you're going to work around people that are than you. And
at some point, we got to just stop. I mean, honestly. At some point, we just got to stop calling each other whites, blacks, Mexicans, whatever, and just like we're all Americans. We're all here to work together and live together. And at some point, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. At
No,
some point,
it's
we
true.
just got to stop doing it.
Stop with the hyphenating, African American.
Stop
It's
talking, calling everybody racist.
It's weird too
Racism
because
will go
nobody
away.
ever calls me a Spanish American. I know about as much
I've been called
about
Portuguese a few
Spain
times.
as I know about the dark side of the moon. I know nothing of Spain, other than their food's not as good as Mexico.
I figured out that not all Portuguese food is good. That's about the only thing I know about Portugal.
A lot of fish, right?
Yeah. Well, from the Azores, I guess.
Yeah, you don't want to eat that man of war. I hear that one's got a little spice to it.
Portuguese man of war?
Portuguese man of war.
Portuguese. Hey, racist.
Portuguese? You can't say a Portuguese?
I think Portuguese is more like
I don't think
it's derogatory. I
don't think
it's
even-
supposedly meant to be derogatory, but
I never understood spick for a Spaniard. There's a lot of old timey racist stuff that just like I didn't know until
I think
this
they
year
just-
that saying something is a gyp applies to gypsies.
Oh, you gypped me?
Yeah, you gypped me. I was like, I didn't know that. And like,
well, here's one. When I went to work for Red Hawk years ago, when I worked at the casino, they told you there was like specific things you could not say. You could not say Indian giver. You could not call people chief. There's some other things that you couldn't do. I'm like, really? And so where I'm sitting in this where there's like 30 people in here and they're all getting hired at the same time. And they go around the room and they ask you, what is your favorite football team? And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, you know what my favorite football team is Washington Redskins, right? And I'm just like, well, fuck, how do I answer this one? I said, Washington Redskins, just like that. That's all I said. Then they're like, went on to the next person. Next guy was a Cowboys fan. And it's just like,
yeah, that's the one the Indians should have a problem with, them damn Cowboys.
They shouldn't have a problem with any of it.
No, that's stupid.
Right.
Dude, I'm spitting all. I hope that when we watch the show, it doesn't look like I'm freaking Daffy Duck just spitting all over everything. It's crazy.
You need the spit thing. The
spit mask? Like the little Japanese girls?
No.
Flu season?
The freaking thing that goes on the microphone.
Oh, the
pop filter.
The pop screen?
Yeah.
I started the show
It'd make your face look better because you have to look at less of your face.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You look at nothing but my beautiful blue eye.
Yeah.
That's it for this week. Let's see how long it was.
Oh.
Don't shrink it down too much because we have to hit the green button.
Yeah, I got it.
And scoop it away. Where are we at?
We are at, well,
an hour, dude.
Yeah,
My God. All right. We're leaving you with one of the funniest things that has ever happened on a... Is this show about white people, Brian?
Is this show about...
The show that this came from?
No.
I haven't seen the clip, but I saw it just said The Great Race.
It's an American... It's a great... It's the thing that was on forever, dude.
The Great Race? It's not about white people?
No, they run around and...
Oh, it's a race.
No, all over the world. They travel around. They have to do certain things. Come on, you've seen this before.
You're taking me too seriously.
I know.
The Great Race. Is it a show about white people? Get it?
The greatest race.
The Greatest Race.
Yeah, no, I didn't see. I don't think that way.
Dude, it's a joke!
I get what you're saying.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Long and hard. Do what you gotta do to make it go right into that guy.
I love watermelon.
Don't give up on me now, please. Just focus.
I'm not giving up.
This.
I'm just getting frustrated.
Hey. You got this, sister. You were super, super close. Right in the kisser. Show that knight who's boss. Oh, God.
Ow! Looks like the Zapruder film. Oh, my God.
Oh.
Are you okay?
I can't feel my face.
All right, stop it. Pretty good. I'm Matt.
I'm Brian.
And it's all shits and giggles until somebody giggles and shits.